All right. FightHype.com here with the number one contender at 154 pounds, the undefeated Tim Tszyu. Also had his first big American win not too long ago over Terrell Gausha. But Tim, man, I know you were in the audience in Los Angeles for that undisputed title fight in the division. What'd you think? What's your recap on Charlo Castano? What are your takeaways from that fight?
Man, it was a war. It was a mad war. The boys went at it. The first 6 rounds, it was high pace, and the boys, all respect to them for crack a fight.
You picked Charlo beforehand to win the fight by knockout, but was there anything that he surprised you about in his performance?
Yeah, he surprised me that he stood in the pocket and traded and wanted to bang on. Usually Usually he's not really like that, but yeah, he actually came to fight. I think it woke him up the first fight.
I think after the fight, someone here on FightHype talked to you afterwards, and you said that your pressure is different than Castano. The kind of pressure you're bringing. How is it better than what Castano brought Saturday night?
Look, Castano's he's a much smaller boy, and my physical presence and in his face would be different.
Yeah. What ways though, Tim? What ways though? Could you share?
Just my strength. Just my strength, I believe. Even when we fought Gausha said no one's ever bullied him, man. Man, when I fought Gausha, I could pick him up and throw him from one side of the ring to the other side of the ring, So I think it's my presence in the ring. Everyone feels it.
So you're not only a more natural, strong 154, but a bigger puncher than Castano too, you feel?
Oh, could be. My power's still developing. I'm still getting there. Again, it's all about timing as well. So I think that matters a lot.
Well, speaking, of timing and development, Tim, he won the WBC title a couple months before you became a professional. How would you make up for that big gap in experience at the championship level and win that fight anyways, despite that?
Yeah, look, I just got to prove it, I've had 10 pay-per-view fights already in Australia. So I started on that professional, I guess not professional, but I started on the big type fights for a long time already now. So I feel like my experience, and I feel comfortable in there, and I feel like I'm more experienced than what my record shows.
Would you even be willing to have that fight in Texas?
Yeah.
I mean,
why not?
You made it this far, man. All the way from Australia. What's another couple miles to Texas, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Would it be a bigger fight in Australia though?
Look, if he wants to come to Australia, he's more than welcome. But it would be big, man. Look, my fights, I had a bigger crowd than a couple of days ago, and I'm not even a world champ, and these guys were fighting for 4 belts. And when there's 4 belts in Australia, I'm telling you that there's going to be, I don't know. I couldn't even tell you how many people would come.
Well, we know there's going to be like 50 or 60,000 next month for that undisputed title fight. So, what's the most tickets you have sold back home?
What's that?
What's the most tickets you have sold in the fight back home? I know it's a big number.
No, not too much. But the last 2 years was all the COVID restrictions. But so everything we were doing, we were at capacity. So that didn't really help. But the Japanese fella fought at the end of 2020. We had restrictions, but that was sold out. I think it was 13,000.
Sheesh, that's impressive already. Speaking, No, go on, Tim.
No, and the boys fought for the undisputed for, I think there was 8,000 people, you know. And for me, it baffles me. It's like, how are they not mainstream or? But it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, because it was definitely a great fight, no question about that. But speaking of, Australia and whatnot, did you get a chance to see your fellow Aussie ask Jermell after the fight at the post-fight conference about facing you, and they kind of had a back and forth? Did you see that, Tim?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw Charlo's a very just angry and miserable person, He just won 4 belts, biggest fight of his career, biggest achievement in his career, and he's sitting there just being angry, going off at all the reporters. He's just an angry person, man. That's all I can say.
Do you think part of that helps him though, as an athlete, that chip on the shoulder?
I don't know. It can work in both ways,
Yeah, because you have your own chip on your shoulder in your own way, Am I right?
Yeah, of course.
and just because it is a great matchup, you and Charlo, but to think about it X's and O's wise, and I know you've touched on it earlier, why you feel your pressure is even superior to a guy like Castano, but are there things you gotta do in that fight that you've never done before? Because we saw coming at him in a straight line, he seemed to figure that out more and more as the fight went on.
Yeah, 100%. I gotta to fight Charlo, you gotta be smart. He sets traps. He's got counters, and he's got a good variety of punches. So you got to be smart and be aware. And of course, you're not going to just walk forward in a straight line. You got to apply smart pressure.
Do you think if for whatever reason that fight isn't next? I know you and Tony Harrison are ranked atop the WBC. You're already #1 with the WBO, but is that a fight that you take next if you can't get Charlo?
Which one?
Tony Harrison.
Well, look, if Charlo can't fight in 3-4 months, then he vacates the belt, and I fight whoever's the next available challenger on the list. But yeah, I'd welcome a fight with Harrison if Charlo vacates the belt.
Yeah, well, I guess it'd be either the WBC or the WBO, right? But right now the WBO, isn't that right? That's the one he'd have to vacate if he doesn't face you next.
Yeah. Well, I've been mandatory for 2 years now.
Right. Would any part of you be disappointed if you fight for the vacant title against Magomed instead of Charlo, or whatever? Just get the belt.
Look, I'd prefer the boys. I'd prefer those boys, of course, but a title fight's a title fight.
Right, and in a way, is it a win-win? Not just because it's a title fight, but we're here talking about the experience that gives you more time to improve, right? If it isn't Charlo next, right?
Of course, the whole it's a growing sport. There's so much to learn. So, but man, my target, I want Charlo next, man. I really want him. I really, really want him.
That really would be a great fight. We'll see.
He thinks it would be easy. I know he doesn't rate me too much in his trainer, but when you're in the ring with me, it's a complete different story.
Well, I know, Errol Spence, his gym mate, was trying to say he's trash when reporters were bringing up your name. Any reaction to Spence as well?
Yeah, well, he was talking smack before about me anyway, and he said to Terrell to get rid of the hype job. So what happened then? What happened then, Errol? Not a hype job after all, huh?
Well, that's a fight we might see one day too, right? You and Errol Spence.
Yeah, 100%. I'd love to.
Wouldn't that be a war? Because styles make fights, and he you guys both have fan-friendly styles.
Yeah, we're both walk-forward fighters. We'll see who takes the first step backwards.
And to close on 154, Tim, we talked about this before the fight, but only other name out there we haven't talked about is Fundora. What do you think of that fight, and is that a fight you want in the near future?
Oh, me and Fundora, yeah, we will definitely meet in the future.
What in the world would that look like, though? You guys are both excellent pressure fighters, and he's super tall, and you're 5'8". What the hell would that look like?
Like chopping down a tree. You start from the bottom, don't you?
It would be very interesting to see. He's, for a tall guy, he's excellent on the inside, but that's your wheelhouse. Oh. That's your range. So I'd be interested.
He's got a mean uppercut, that left uppercut, and he uses it well, and he likes to fight inside as well, which, you know, if I was him and with his long arms, I'd be fighting on the outside, but nah, he likes to bang on. Full Mexican style.
And you do that as well, so in your own style. So
yeah.